Hello.
Hi, give everybody a few minutes to filter in. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, give everybody a few minutes to filter in. Hopefully everyone is here for Adapt and Thrive and you're in the right spot. And if not, you can leave whenever you want. Okay, great. Well, I'll go ahead and get started while other people are filtering in. We'll just do a quick intro. Whenever someone meets me, I always know what their first question is. It's how do you pronounce your last name? So I'll go ahead and remove the mystery from that. It's Ikle. It's kind of like Eclair. So my name is Kathryn Ikle. I am the Vice President of Strategy and Design at Citi, more commonly known as Creative Director, on services under Melanie Dowling. And I've been at Citi for about 2 years now. And I'm really excited to be here and to have the opportunity to talk to you all. Hopefully you'll learn something or take at least one nugget away from my personal experiences, which I'll talk about today. Feel free to emote on Zoom. So use the emojis if you're feeling sad or happy or angry, or raise a hand if you have something that you want to say or you have a question. And I will also leave time at the end for questions, comments, stories that you all may have that you want to share as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have a short period of time, so we'll try to use all of it. So who would agree that we live in a time of adversity? So I'll raise my hand. I definitely feel it. And if you have a teenager, I see hands and thumbs up, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. I had to share this meme. I thought it was hilarious. That is so me looking for who my teenager thinks they're talking to. And if you have a teenager, if you've had teenagers, then you know what I'm talking about. But in all seriousness, adversity is everywhere. COVID, our changing world, culture, workplace, relationships. So everywhere you look, there adversity lives. Why is adversity so hard for us? It pressures us, it stresses us out, it beats us down, it takes away our power, our fortitude, and our inspiration. And to me, most importantly, our joy. It makes us fearful, it's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, it's exhausting. Have you ever felt that way? Because I know that I have, and I still feel that way in many situations. Well, I am not here today to tell you to get over it. However, I am here to tell you from my own personal experience that you can adapt and thrive in adversity. And I hope today I can encourage you and inspire you to live a joy-filled life despite adversity. So let's talk about how do you do that? Over the years, I have learned, sometimes and mostly by the hard way, that you need to possess the following things: flexibility, adaptability, and resilience. These have been some of the key ingredients for me to thrive professionally and personally. So let's talk about each of these. We'll start with flexibility. So again, I have another meme. As want it, I'm totally flexible. So I still feel like that. Even though I'm having this talk today, I still feel like this for a lot of my life in general. So, how can embracing change and being flexible lead to new opportunities, even in the most challenging circumstances? Well, I have a story for you. I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up there and lived there all my life. And for several years, I worked in user experience for a large logistics company, designing their mobile app. Career-wise, it was a dead end for me. There was no possibility of promotion. It was very hard to get promoted, no salary bump, and the culture had grown very toxic. I actually worked with a lady who was always making fun of my clothes at work. It was that bad. So naturally, I began looking outside for a new opportunity, meaning out of the place that I was working in and even out of state. But keep in mind, I grew up in Tennessee and no one really expected me to leave the state. But I thought, okay, well, I'm not just going to apply in state. I'm going to cast my net broader and see if I can find something more. So I didn't just apply to jobs in Tennessee. I sent resumes, probably over 100 resumes out across the entire United States. And if I got an offer that I didn't like, I could always refuse it. Adversity inspired me to embrace flexible thinking, to bend but not break, although I do admit I was on the verge. Dolly Parton says we cannot direct the wind, but we sure can adjust the sails. And I completely believe that. So that's what I did. I ended up being recruited by Top Golf headquarters in downtown Dallas. And I ended up with a $40,000 salary increase, a leadership role, and a paid relocation package. If it wasn't obvious, I moved. That's why I'm here. It was one of the best jobs I ever had. It was a growing startup, worked with really bright, great people, and the organization had it all together. So not only did I end up with a job that I felt like was 10 times better than my other one, I ended up in an area of town with a great high school for my daughter that provided accommodations for her because she has low vision. And we were not getting that in Tennessee. So that was definitely an added bonus. If I had not had a flexible mindset, the trajectory of my personal and professional life would be very different compared to back then. I cannot tell you all the ways that my life and my family's life changed for the better because I had a flexible mindset. I challenge you all to have a flexible mindset. When you are rigid in thinking, you can miss opportunities to rise above the adversity. The next key ingredient for me is adaptability. And yet again, I have another meme to share. Kermit. Who loves Kermit? I love Kermit. My setback may have amused you, but my comeback will confuse you. So, how can setbacks and failures be powerful catalysts for personal and professional growth when approached with an open mind? When I think of setbacks, I immediately think of my daughter, Rebecca. Rebecca has a genetic disorder called Bardet-Biedl syndrome. It's extremely rare and affects vision and as well as other things in the body. And ever since she was 8 years old, she has had low vision. The type of low vision where she can't see in the dark or dim light. She can't read menus at restaurants because the font's too small and the restaurant is too dark. She can't see curbs and trips because she doesn't have depth perception. She'll never drive a car. She can't tell the difference between navy blue and black or feel comfortable at a homecoming dance or in a movie theater because it's too dark and she can't see. The gravity and reality of her condition came to a head her sophomore year of high school. She was withdrawn. She was angry. She was frustrated because she was missing out on milestones of being a teenager, and I can't blame her. Who was I to tell her how to feel? I could never imagine or pretend to know how she was feeling. However, what I could do was inspire her to adapt to the adversity, learn from the setback, and find workarounds. I encourage her to be flexible in her thinking and to have an open mind. The only limits placed on her were those that she placed on herself. And with an open mind, she could become limitless in her own way. Now, I am not oblivious to the seriousness of her condition. However, I told her, for example, if she can't drive, she can Uber. So over the summer, we downloaded the app to her phone and we took an Uber from our house to Baskin Robbins and back home again, because why would you not just go somewhere fun? So I have to say, we couldn't have had a better Uber driver. The lady we had was super friendly. She was the best, and it was perfect for her first experience. So it was a 2-mile ride. And after that ride, she practiced on her own. And guess what? She Ubers all the time, everywhere. And I have the bill to prove it. I'll ask her sometimes, hey, do you need a ride? And she'll say, no, I'll Uber. I have so many stories about Rebecca. I look at her and I think, if she can adapt and thrive, I can too. She opened her mind to other possibilities, allowing herself to become limitless in her own way. She's currently a junior at University of Texas, Dallas. She lives in an apartment on campus. She's part of a sorority, and she's president of the Bake Club. So I have to say, she does inspire me. She's learned from setbacks, she's adapted, and she's really thriving, and what a journey it's been for her. So I want to ask you all, are you learning from your setbacks? Do you practice having an open mind? Are you adapting? Are you limiting yourself? Don't give up and don't shut down. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. The last of the ingredients to thriving that I want to share with you is resilience. And I have one last meme to show you. Is that the best you can do? I don't know if you've ever gotten so frustrated in life that you just want to scream out into the storm. Is that the best you can do? Come at me. That's how I always want to approach adversity. We talked about having a flexible mindset. We talked about setbacks and adapting to adversity and practicing having an open mind. But how do you stay the course when you have setback, when you have adversity over and over again? How do you build resilience and mental fortitude? What is resilience? So I love looking up definitions of words. So Google defines resilience as the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness, the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. Elasticity, is that you? Would you describe yourself that way? Do you recover quickly from difficulties? Are you mentally tough? Do you possess elasticity? After being put into certain situations in life, I believe that in order to have resilience, we must temper our emotions. We're all emotional creatures. We just are. We get mad, we get sad, we get annoyed, we get our feelings hurt, we get defensive. And when I talk about resilience, I'm talking about emotional resilience. Resiliency in adversity often is successful when emotion takes a back seat. We need to have some elasticity, mental fortitude to thrive and not to languish. So what does this have to do with resiliency? I have another story for you. I worked with a colleague at one point in my career who everyone said was very difficult. He was very difficult to get along with. We don't envy you, they'd say. He was one of the most knowledgeable people I had ever worked with. And I had a lot of respect for him. We got along great. Why? Because I didn't let emotion get in the way. When he was direct, I didn't take it personally. When he didn't like a design, I didn't take it personally. We built a relationship on mutual respect for each other's ideas and roles. We were both very passionate about the work. However, we checked emotion at the door. I encourage you to separate passion and emotion. They're two very things. Passion involves the mind. Emotion excludes mental judgment. If you want to build resilience, embrace what is, embrace the setbacks, the uncomfortable, the discomfort. Recognize and acknowledge that change is inevitable. It is a constant. I love this quote by Maya Angelou. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I will not be reduced by it. I encourage you to develop emotional resilience. Flexibility, adaptability, and resilience. Developing these traits is an ongoing process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a habit that you cultivate with consistent effort and a positive mindset, and by surrounding yourself with people who support you. If you can harness the power of these three things, you can adapt and thrive in adversity and lead a joy-filled life. I'll end with one more very short quote by Anonymous. It's, "Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape." Thank you to everyone who's joined me today and for listening. Does anyone have any questions or stories or comments? I see a hand raised. Mara? See,
Mara,
I'll butcher
yes.
your...
No, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for the simplicity, yet the heartfelt depth of especially around adversity and your stories. It touches, I'm sure, all of us, because we have those moments, right, of deep realization. And I think that I would augment that feeling when you're like throttle someone, or they're saying something that wants to make you crazy. I spent an entire year on 3 words: lean into conflict. Someone said to me, "Does that mean you punch him in the face?" I said, "No, it means you ask why. I can see you're really upset. Tell me more. Help me understand." Right? And so you lean into it, which is the exact opposite of what we want to do as humans, right? Someone says something offensive, right? We recoil, we retract, we want to cut off relations. And in each one of your examples, I compliment because you leaned into that conflict, right? You, even though you were uncomfortable, whether it was figuring out, believing the state of Tennessee or your daughters, etc. And so I want to commend you, because maybe you didn't know that you do that. That also is a huge reason for your success. And thank you so much for your sharing.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you for those comments. And yes, confrontation, I think, for people in general, dealing with discomfort in life, no one wants to do it. I mean, period. I am still a work in progress. I deal with it on a day-to-day basis, my personal relationships and my professional, getting morning, having to do certain things. It's a constant. You're always pushing against it, but it is so rewarding when you get over that, when you can push through it. It is, it's been very rewarding, and I have seen it over the years.
You're here. Very brave.
Angie, I see your hand.
Just want to say again, same thing. Thank you so much. This has been very enlightening. I appreciate you being open and sharing and so forth. I wrote down the one of the last pieces that you were talking about, the difference between passion and emotion. Because if someone asked me before, are they the same thing? In my mind, I probably would have said, yeah, I think they are. But adding that little different twist is one thing that is going to stick with me now, right? And I'm going to think about longer term and kind of look at that a little bit differently. So I appreciate that perspective.
Sure. No, when I was writing out this outline, I learned a lot writing it. And that too, the passion and emotion, I was like, that makes sense to me. You know, there is a difference. You can be passionate about your, but you don't have to be emotional about it.
Yeah.
Alexandra, I see your hand.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Loved all of this. And I just wanted to, I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but I was thinking of it more outside of work, like with kids and with sports and the passion versus emotion. It's something interesting. And I feel like I really try to go with the flow, and everything seems to really bother other people because everyone is so trying to make things a certain way.
Right.
And I've noticed that I like just like push back, like you're like the lazy mom, you're the, you don't care, you don't give two shits. And it's not that, it's just like, I know you can't control things,
Right.
So I do
And
try to, and I was wondering if anyone else has.
I've definitely experienced that. I mean,
Exactly.
you make an excellent point. It's, I think for everyone, not women, but for everyone, I think, we're used to always wanting to control everything, just in general. That's just life,
Yeah.
and really hard to relinquish control, whatever amount it is. And when you do, people, well, how can you be so calm? Why are you not talking about this? Why are you not out? So I totally get it and agree.
Could you share, like, I know I didn't really see like an outline in this, but I think that would be helpful to like go over it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to. Thanks for the comment.
Mhm.
Christine, I see your hand.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Being human, as you mentioned, going through the emotions, it's just all part of it. And I know in city, several years working in city, I've had numerous positions, and I've had a lot of personal going on at home that would carry with
Yes.
me over into other roles. I had to hold good faith, right? Leave the emotions at the door.
Yeah.
But they were triggered by other behaviors from my coworkers or whatnot. Having true conversations to say, hey, I'm going through something today. I might not be able to meet with you today, but tomorrow. So okay to say, because we are humans, we're not robotic too, where we're not going to do anything.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's might be things in life that are very heavy that you are carrying with you. But just do know that there is that EAP program right out there that has helped me several times when I've needed like an outlet. Had the therapist there to talk to and just help you focus on that is so rewarding. That's given to us by Citi.
I think awesome resource to recommend. I know that in my lifetime, having someone to talk to and kind of bounce off ideas, thoughts, and how you're feeling, and getting constructive feedback has been really awesome for me personally. And I definitely do recommend it for others. Anyone else? I know we're almost at time. We have a few minutes left. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Anything? Any comments, quotes, anything at all? If not, I will go ahead and let you all out of here. And again, I really appreciate you all staying in and listening and commenting. And I really hope that you take away at least today. Thanks so much. Have a great
Thank you so
afternoon.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathryn. This was great.
Great
Awesome.
job. Great
Thank
job.
you.